Welcome to Real Chat,
the podcast where we, Annie and Chad, discuss real shit
loosely related to the real estate industry.
Hi, Annie. Welcome.
Hi, Chad.
How are you today?
I'm great.
Not great, like Tony would say. Great. Do you still eat cereal for breakfast?
I do not eat cereal.
Did you
That's
ever
sugar.
eat cereal for breakfast?
Of course.
I hate it. It's like eating sawdust.
All cereal?
Yeah. What cereal doesn't taste like sawdust?
Raisin Bran?
What are you, 95 years old?
Raisin Bran. We have a guest.
Bran.
Let's bring our guest into this topic.
Jeez. I don't know if I want to comment on cereal.
I know. Welcome.
I like it.
David Specter, guest. David, do you eat cereal?
Lucky Charms, Honey Nut Cheerios.
It all tastes like sawdust to me. I don't know what to tell you. So
I love when we have guests on, but let's introduce our guest before we just jump in and make him pick sides, because he's clearly going to be going Team Annie.
I don't think he is. You think everybody goes Team Annie? You should really go watch the podcast sometime and check out which team they pick in the comments.
I will.
It's Chad. Just for the record.
What? Your mom? Chad's mom and dad.
David Specter is with Choice Home Warranty. Welcome.
Hi, David.
Hello. Thanks for having me.
Super excited to talk about this today.
Absolutely.
So tell us, what is it? What is, for those that don't know?
Everybody knows who David is.
I know everybody knows who David is.
Okay, just in case one of our listeners don't.
Man, high expectations already. I haven't even said really, more than 5 words here, you know.
I know. Rumor is he's a podcast star. That's the rumor.
He is a podcast star. he's like on the circuit. Like, we barely got fit in this week.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah,
no,
you guys got an exclusive time slot. All right. You know, I got another podcast following this one, so time is of that. No, I'm just kidding.
Time is of the essence. I love that. Welcome. So home warranties, tell us who you work for, first of all, and then what is a home warranty for people that don't know what home warranties are, because I think they're out there.
Yeah, no doubt. So Choice Home Warranty, that's the company I work for. I've personally been doing warranty for going on 15 years. So quite some time. And what a home warranty does, we cover the systems and appliances that just malfunction due to normal wear and tear. And I always compare it kind of like to a car, right? Like, if you have a car, you can't drive it, 3, 4, 500,000 miles and expect it to keep working like it is brand new, right? Like, parts will start to fail. Parts start to fail after 15, 20,000 miles, right? So same thing with your AC and your furnace and your water heater and your plumbing and all your appliances, washer, dryer, fridge, all those things. So parts will start to fail as things age. We cover that. We would repair that part or replace the system. So I shouldn't say repair that part, but repair that system or appliance with a new part. And then once again, if it's not repairable, regardless of age, we would replace it. So that's what we cover, is what homeowners insurance does not cover. Normal wear and tear of these systems and appliances, we do cover those.
That's a really good distinction. I've never heard you say that, but like, when I'm trying to explain it to people, you guys fill the gap of what homeowners insurance doesn't cover. Because so many people think their home warranty is going to cover their roof. I got a home warranty. No, that's not what that is.
It is. It's just funny you said that word too, because I was just kind of thinking to myself, like, it's gap insurance. That's like covers the gap, right? Like, you have gap insurance for your car to pay off the gap of your loan, but that makes total sense.
Right. The roof blows off. You call your insurance. If there's excessive secondary damage, if there's a major flood or leak, that's homeowners insurance. But if your AC just fails, you can't call homeowners insurance. They're going to laugh at you. They're going to say, why are you calling me? Go fix it. So it's either, hey, you have X amount of dollars set aside for those repairs and replacements, or do you have a home warranty? Those are really your 2 options.
I never thought of it that way.
I'll just say this, with all the money saved, you can buy unlimited cereal for the rest of your life. You know,
there you go.
Money saved.
Oh, you mean sawdust?
Correct. You buy unlimited sawdust.
Now this comes from the person who's never had like a weight issue. My life would be complete if I could eat cereal every day for breakfast, but I can't. Like, if I could eat Captain Crunch, like that just can't happen. It's bad. It's not healthy, but it's delicious.
I don't get it.
Throw a banana in there. Now it's healthy. That's what you got to do.
Oh my gosh, a banana and Raisin Bran. That's like
I'm right there with you.
Seriously, I want to know what person under the age of 85 besides you eats Raisin Bran. That's what my grandpa used to eat when he needed to go number 2.
Now we're calling it number 2.
Well, I would have said take a shit, but I figured I'd get in trouble for that. We're supposed to be on our
David,
best
do you
behavior,
like Raisin
remember?
Bran?
I don't know if I don't want to say yes after this conversation. I'm telling you.
Pick a side, David. Get off the fence.
Yeah, honestly, I do. I have to say I do like it. I hate to take sides, but if I have to take a side, yeah, I do like it. I do like Cap'n Crunch, and I have 4 kids, and 3 of them are of age where they eat cereal. So we go through cereal pretty fast.
Okay.
And breakfast
it is inexpensive, so
right.
I get that.
Cereal,
it's
eggs,
easy.
and waffles, the go-tos.
Oh, I loved a good Eggo when I was a kid. I haven't had one of those in forever. Them frozen ass waffles, you know what I'm talking about?
Awful.
That's them.
Delicious.
I would rather have a bowl of Raisin Bran.
My God, with the syrup that had do you remember? I'm dating myself now. If anybody from Gen Z is watching this, they're gonna have no friggin' idea what I'm talking about. 'Cause I'm pretty sure it's gone. But they had the syrup bottle and it looked like a teapot, you know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
And it had the little sticker on the front, and you put it in the microwave and you started the microwave, and when it was warm, the sticker changed colors.
I bet they still have that.
Did they? You think?
Probably. I don't eat syrup.
I feel like it was, yeah, I don't know. Well, you
And
I
don't
haven't come
back
across
home
it. I
put
couldn't
warranties.
comment on
syrup
that
on a cereal anyways. I remember this one time I was eating it. You go and I put that syrup in the microwave and the motherfucker went out.
Stop cussing.
It was like 2 days before I had any more syrup.
What do you mean it went out?
It stopped working.
The microwave or the syrup
Yeah,
bottle?
no, the microwave stopped working, and my freaking parents did not have a home
Okay.
warranty. I had to go
That's
for
what I
2
was going
days
to say. Would
with
that
no
be covered?
syrup.
David, would
Everything
that be
circles
covered?
back to home warranty. Everything circles back to so if it's like self-inflicted, like if it broke because you put something in there and that caused it to break, that would not be covered because it didn't naturally fail. That was caused by you.
I don't remember what I did.
But that would be that scenario. But if it naturally breaks because it's old, which will happen, things will break. That's what we cover.
Okay.
Well, it's a great tool for us as real estate agents to have in our toolbox to know about the home warranties and to be educated, because there's so much more than just the big things that they cover. We like to talk about HVAC and that,
Right.
but with our relationship with you, and you're coming in and educating us, talk about the other things that you get, like when you're a seller and the coverage you get before you sell, the thing that I didn't know, changing the locks. There's all kinds of things just besides the HVAC and Chad's microwave.
Right. So, in addition
wasn't my
to
microwave, it was my dad's, just for the record.
so you guys are gonna have me laugh in this whole podcast. All right. So,
That's why we're here, David.
for the entertainment. No.
Yes.
So in addition to AC, furnace, water heater, all that, it's also the appliances. So washer, dryer, fridge, range, oven, cooktop, dishwasher, garbage disposal, the microwave, ceiling fan, garage door opener. It covers quite a bit, but it also covers, as you just mentioned, rekey. So you can file that claim day one. And every buyer should, I think everybody watching this would agree, every buyer should rekey their home. Why would you want seller to have access to the home, to the original, to having the original key? So we will send out a locksmith, it'll be $75 and 6 locks and 4 keys. And we'll send out a locksmith and rekey that home for $75. You're literally day one saving hundreds of dollars. I would encourage anybody who's considering it, call 5 locksmiths and ask what the cost is.
Yeah.
Very, very costly.
And that's a good point that everybody should do it too. But
Right.
I wouldn't, I'm sitting here thinking like probably 1 out of 100 people actually do that.
I don't know. I tell all of my buyers, change your locks. And I always use the story that when I was still raising my family, I think every one of my neighbors had a key to my house in case my kids got locked out or whatever. So I'm like, you have no idea who has a key to this house.
That's a huge value.
No,
But
and I don't think that we all, even when we have clients with home warranties, to remind them that's covered.
Everybody should file that. And the policies are so inexpensive. They start at $450, and all the policies, all 3, it's $450, $580, and $660, but all 3 carry that rekey coverage. So you could literally buy a policy for $450 and get your home rekeyed day one and save hundreds just on that one claim, let alone you have it for an entire year for anything that could break, So
I just had a thought. What makes you qualify to get the key changed? What's the trigger?
That you bought a home with a warranty.
So I
That's
have your home warranties on my rental properties.
You had
Right.
to, but
So
you
when
have
I
to
have a new
bought
rent,
home,
when I have a
though.
new renter,
You have to have bought a
You could,
home.
if you have the warranty on it, yes, you could at any point during that contract term, you could file that rekey. Assuming it's more, you bought that policy within the past couple years because it was added on when our last time we redid our policy, which was 2 or 3 years ago, we added rekey. So as long as you have a policy from that date moving forward, yeah, you'd be good to go. And I can always look into it. Just contact me after this. But
just never thought about that before. Like,
yeah, we would do that. And then you were talking about listing coverage, where we cover the seller. And the things you're mentioning, a lot of agents don't even know exist, because I talked to these agents. They're like, I had no idea. So it's really, really cool to talk about. So the listing coverage, where we cover the seller during the entire listing period. So if something breaks, they can file a claim during the listing, no money due until closing. So we front them a policy and say, hey, here's a policy. And then upon closing, that policy goes to the buyer for a full year. And I just dealt with an agent. This was yesterday, and as of this morning, I finalized it. But we just covered a water heater replacement and a it was a dishwasher repair. And the agent said, okay, well, we're closing on next Thursday. Can we have a lien waiver for that water heater? And I said, sure. So I sent over a lien waiver and said, hey, it's all paid for and nothing is currently due. And she was thrilled, and so was the other agent. But we just replaced a water heater and repaired a dishwasher during the listing period and just saved them $2,000+.
Are there some limitations on that for the seller before, during that time period?
So there are some limitations, more so than the buyer side, only because we're fronting the seller that policy. So if the home doesn't close and they, let's say, pull the home off the market, well, nothing is due. We're not going to back charge for the policy. We're not going to back charge for that item. But the seller needs to know it's not just covering the seller. It's meant to cover the seller and the buyer, and the total dollar amounts due at closing. So they have to know that going into it. But once again, we front that policy. Now, the seller side, we cover up to $3,000 during the listing period, where for the buyer, there's no overall cap. We could pay out $20,000, $50,000. But on the seller, we have to have a limitation because there's no guarantee we're going to get paid at the end of the day. A lot could happen. And it does not cover undetectable pre-existing conditions. And a lot of people hear that word and they get scared and they're like, oh my God, what does that mean? Right? Well, just to break it down on the seller side, if somebody files a claim, we're going to look at it as, when did you take the policy out to when was that claim filed? Could that issue have happened in that time period? And was it normal wear and tear? And if that answer is yes to those, then we would cover it. If the answer is no to one of those, then we would not. So the issue has to actually occur in that time period. That makes sense.
It does.
So you, as a seller, you can't
know your air conditioner is going to go out any day.
You can't say, oh, I haven't taken care of my house for 20 years. I'm going to buy a home warranty because I'm listing, and then make a bunch of claims and they're going to cover, $3,000 of it.
The water heater, though, that must be like one of those, is that Murphy's Law? What could happen is going to happen. But I can't tell you how many times somebody's water heater goes out in between the 30 days of getting a contract and closing. It's just some magical thing.
I don't know how many times we've had this, and we've talked about this, I think, on a podcast before, but so many times we've had random things breaking in the middle of a transaction. That was not something that we experienced when we first started. And for some reason it's like we're playing catch up.
Right.
This water
we've had problems.
I mean, this water heater example, it was 3 weeks into the seller side. So they had the policy for 3 weeks. The water heater started leaking. Well, you know what? There is no repair for a leaking water heater. We replaced it.
Wow.
But they were thrilled. They were thrilled, as they should be. We just saved the seller so much money,
Yeah, everybody should, we're big fans of your product. We recommend that all the time. Both sides. It's great for sellers. It's great for buyers. I've actually been a client, I want to say, for 10 years now.
Yeah, I have to say, too, that it does make a difference. And I know you said your Choice Home Warranty is the name of your company, but the company that sells the warranty, or that you're getting the warranty from, makes a huge difference, because I've had not just Choice Home Warranties, but other home warranties along the way, too. And they sucked.
That's where I was.
They were a pain in the ass to deal with when I had a claim. They didn't, and then the one you had, it sounded great when the sales guy was talking to me. I'm like, you pick your own contract. Well, nobody wants to deal with that. No contractors want to deal with that. they don't get paid, on and on. So it does make a difference. Choice home warranty is a big one, but there's beyond just, the actual cost of the repair. Your liability for a seller is, for me, one of the biggest. I'm the risk management guy. No, she worries more about like the actual thing breaking in the moment. I'm worried more about like, even if nothing breaks from the seller's standpoint and you never utilize that $3,000, you're giving the buyer a warranty on the systems in your house. So if something does break after the fact and maybe you should have disclosed it and it never came up or something like that, you're covering your risk there because you're protecting the buyer from something you may not have known or you may not have thought was relevant at the moment. Turns out it was. Having that home warranty in place says, listen, I wasn't trying to fraud you into buying my house that had this problem. Otherwise, it would have never bought you a home warranty.
It's peace of mind.
Right.
It's just peace of mind.
Well, I mean, there's a stat out there, 68% likelihood something will break first year, 68%. So my take is, in taking off my sales hat, just talking, right? Something's going to break. I mean, 68% likelihood. It's just a matter of what is the cost and what is that item, right? So I think it's that important with that percent. Why go against that percent? I think a warranty is needed on now if it's a new build or has new equipment, is it worthwhile? I mean, I don't know. If it's a 2-year-old AC, do you really need a warranty? I mean, yeah, manufacturer issues happen, but the odds are minimal. But as soon as you get to the age around 10 plus, things start to break, and so, but 68% likelihood something will break first year. So that's the value of home warranties. We cover things,
Yeah. Well, and they don't make shit like they used to. I've reached that age where I've started saying that.
It's true. I have a freezer in my garage that was my mother's when I was a child. That was one of those and it still works like a charm. And then everything else that I bought on my own brand new place 3 or 4 times.
That's capitalism at work for you, right? They get cheaper and the quality goes down to produce en masse and make more money. Like that's how it works. So it is. Appliances that have been around, we haven't had really a whole lot of innovation in home appliances for a lot of years. It's been relatively the same appliances.
What's the difference in a manufacturer's warranty? And I'm going to ask this specifically for myself. So I redid my kitchen, and I have a home warranty with you on all my properties, but I redid my kitchen and I decided that I was going to get Bosch appliances. I wasn't going to just go to Home Depot and get what was on sale. I was going to get top of the line, and I've already had issues with them, which right now they fall under their manufacturer's warranty. For the first year, but now they're keep sending me all this stuff. They want me to buy this extended warranty with them. What's the difference in that and what I already have with you?
So we would still cover that appliance. So it's almost like, why double dip? Why pay for their extended warranty if we're going to cover it? So typically, depending on what item, the line, the brand, there's so many different variables. But when it comes more to like AC and furnace and water heater and those major systems, usually the manufacturer covers the parts, but they don't cover the labor of the part. And so we pick up the labor and they cover the part. And a real example is I had a home this morning, Cape Girardeau. A control board failed. It was $225 in labor that the manufacturer didn't cover. So they said, hey, okay, here's the part, but we're not going to install it. So we ate the $225 cost. And they coincide and work together in that sense. But as far as your appliance, your Bosch goes, in my opinion, there's no need to pay for an extended warranty because you have 2 warranties on the same item. Why do that? I would just keep our warranty and not extend theirs, to be honest with you.
It's what I did, but
yeah,
wanted to hear you say it now.
Now you feel good about it.
Trouble with these appliances already.
Well, I've had people tell me that they don't want a warranty because the house is new and everything has a manufacturer's warranty. But that's a very good point, which I just personally experienced, not with my house, but my truck. The engine failed and it only had 63,000 miles on it. And GM covered the engine because it should not have failed at 63,000 miles, obviously. And it did, but it was internal engine failure. So it wasn't anything that I did. The part broke down inside the engine. And so they covered the engine, but I was still going to be on the hook for $2,000 because somebody's got to put the engine in the truck. And that was the labor portion of it. So like, even like that is just now like To be all right, I didn't expect that, but nobody's ever said that about warranties the way you just did. And so then it just triggered, like, to have that thought. They're going to cover the part, but unless you're putting it in yourself, that's not going to be very useful.
Right. I mean, you're going to be out of pocket for the labor, and labor, let's be honest, labor is so costly. I've been doing warranty, like I said, going on 15 years. Ever since COVID, I've seen labor prices just skyrocket and material costs skyrocket. As soon as we started having shipping delays and logistic problems, and there's just so many different reasons why, but ultimately the labor is more costly than I've ever seen it, and same with materials.
Yeah. We had another home warranty thing that came up. I think one of our agents probably called you this week. Can you talk a little bit about what you guys cover on septic systems? Because you have things that you can add on to your home warranties, other things in the house.
So there's a couple different septic add-ons. You can cover the septic line, and it also is going to cover the sewer lateral on the exterior of the home. I want to say it's a $125 add-on to any policy, and we would cover up to $1,500. And that would cover the exterior sewer lateral, as well as the septic line. So that's a biggie.
Not to interrupt, but does that add-on then cover, if you don't have a septic system, would it cover your exterior sewer lateral in your regular residential?
Yeah.
Okay, that's an add-on too.
Correct. Okay. Yep, you can add that. So with 125 would cover up to 1,500. But a septic option itself, it would cover the mechanical components as well as pumping. But I will say this because I believe in transparency and full disclosure and being real, right? It has a cap of $300. So on that septic, we'll be able to cover the cost of a pumping, but you're not going to get a ton of value when it comes to parts being replaced, because you're going to easily hit that 300. But with our tech and our network, we're able to actually pump it for that 300. So that's what I would expect from that. But looking at the other one, 1,500 for the exterior, the line and sewer lateral, that has a good ROI to it. That makes sense,
Yeah, I think that's important because a lot of people freak out when they hear that too. Everything in the home warranty has a cap. Like there's not an open checkbook when something goes wrong. That's not the point of it, right? It's to offset the cost of potential repairs.
It's why
I think a lot of people miss that.
It's why we use Choice.
Yes,
and you are exclusive now because we have, through the years, gone with the cheaper option or the bells and whistles or the salesperson who says, you can call who you want. We've done all of that, and you are always transparent. Right. You always tell us what the cap. You're doing this for the right reason. You're doing this for the long haul. You're not just trying to get the quick sale. You've got the clients like us that are now loyal for 10 plus years because you're honest and you're fair, and we're not blindsided.
No, and I appreciate that. And I think that's how you do business. You build a rapport, build relationships based on truth and honesty, and work together. And I mean, I told an agent this morning, this is another example from this morning. I can give you examples almost from every day. I mean, I'm doing this just like you guys are doing your thing every day, all day, right? So the agent said, hey, I'm unsure if this is going to be covered. Can I send you the inspection report? And I said, sure. I take a look at the inspection report, and there was no way we're going to cover that AC. There were so many notes saying how it was leaking. It had excessive fin damage from hail. It was like absolutely horrific. I said, we're not going to cover that AC. I said, I'll be honest with you, no warranty company is going to cover. We're not. No, you can't call anybody. And if they say they're going to cover it, that's just not going to, they're not telling the truth. It's not going to be, it's not a normal wear and tear issue. And you can't come back from the actual issues right now. It's not repairable. I said, we're not going to cover it. And she really appreciated the honesty. Now they're going to counter, and probably that deal may or may not fall out. She can negotiate for a new AC, whatever the case may be. But ultimately, at the end of the day, no, I didn't make the sale, but I said the right thing, and I did the right thing by providing that information.
Yeah, and nobody bullshitted the client who thought they were going to get a home warranty that was magical and was going to, they're going to find out after it's closed, and no one's going to help them.
Don't want surprises. I don't like surprises.
That is the one thing that I will say about Choice Home Warranty. And I think warranty in general, that word gets a bad rap, because the first thing when you say warranty, the first thing I think of is used car warranties. And that industry is just not the greatest. They don't have honest people all over that place, right? They're few and far between. I'm not saying they're not out there, But and same thing with, I think home warranties is the same way, right? Like it's just such a industry that it's easy to take advantage of people. And so like to hold any warranty industry is like that, right? I think to hold to that higher standard is impressive. So
I think you're just like our industry. It's relationships. And, I always tell you I could make a commercial for you because I don't know how many times I've called you on your probably private home cell phone on 4th of July at 6 o'clock when the air conditioning's out. I'm like, I don't like how these people are answering the phone. And, but it's, Chad tells the story before when we were talking insurance that he used to go with the online people because it was cheaper until you realize that having a relationship with a real human who also cares about you and what you're doing, that's what you want in everything that you do. So.
Right. I mean, I totally agree. 100%. I completely agree. Having somebody that has your back and best interest and working together for this. And ultimately, it's the same goal. I want claims paid on. I want a good experience, right? Because if you have a good experience, your clients have a good experience, you're going to keep recommending choice. And that relationship's going to keep going on and we're going to spread. So I want to do whatever I possibly can to be able to help.
So when you see my name appear on your phone at 6 o'clock on a Saturday night, you go, mother.
I like you. So I hit accept.
You can be honest, David, because that's what I do.
He does. He's never declined me. He's never not answered the phone when I call.
No, I like you. You guys, both of you, honestly, you guys are real. And that's all I can ask for. You guys are real and you don't call me and immediately just start flipping out. You're very level-headed in a conversation and easy to work with, and those are the type of people that I want to work with.
Sometimes I say hypothetically.
you do, and I hypothetically give you an answer.
He does.
That's so funny. So what else? What else about home warranties?
Yeah.
Like, tell it. What is? I'm curious. What I don't know. What is the one story that's your favorite story about home warranties? Like whether it's client or whatever it is, I don't care. Tell us your favorite.
I'll tell you a story that happened. This was somewhat recent. This happened. This was a furnace replacement. I'm not going to say what county out of respect and professionalism, but it was a police officer here in the St. Louis region. This happened, I want to say like 3 months ago. Furnace breaks. I get a phone call from the homeowner. The homeowner says, "Hey, my agent told me to call you. My furnace isn't working. What do I do?" And I walk them through a claim. And awesome. I say, "We're going to reach out to you via email, blah, blah, blah. You'll be given appointment information." So that's exactly what happens. He calls me. I want to say this is probably about, 4 or 5 days after that. And he says, "I just want to tell you, you guys are replacing that furnace. And I didn't have the money to replace a furnace on my own. I was going to have to buy space heaters to hold myself over. And I was going to have family over. And honestly, I was questioning if I should even have family over because I have space heaters and I don't want that to be the first impression of my new home to these people. And the fact you guys replaced my furnace, I now can have a party and I feel confident." And that really hit home. Like that's the reason. And maybe it's a selfish perspective, but that even telling the stories, I get like my hair raised a little bit. It makes you feel good knowing you're actually truly, I'm not just selling crap or just selling whatever. I'm selling something that actually really emotionally makes a difference in somebody's lives.
Matters.
And to even be able to provide you that story, it's just such a cool thing,
Yeah.
It is really, and it does make it. And I think here it goes back to that old homage. You only know what's around you and you know what I mean? I don't know what the homage is, I guess, but you don't know what you don't know. And everything occurs for you as you, right? And so we have a hard time as humans in general, just putting ourselves in other people's shoes. And so I think that's a lot of it. Like, not having, that's a necessity for somebody that doesn't have a lot of money in the bank, first-time homeowners, or recent divorcees that are restarting their lives.
And he is
people.
And he is or was a first-time homeowner. And so you have a first-time homeowner, doesn't have a ton of capital sitting there. Probably more than likely, an average homeowner, you guys tell me the average first time homeowner takes every penny they possibly have to their name to throw it at closing costs, you know?
And a lot of them borrow some of those pennies from
right.
401ks and like those types of things. They don't have cash in the bank.
And they are not prepared for something major to break that first year or two.
But not only was it helping somebody, giving them a new furnace and making that much of a difference, but a police officer. And that was really neat to be able to give back to somebody who always gives to other people. And so I thought that was really cool that that happened. So I mean, that's just a neat, most recent story of something that was really cool, you know, but yeah. And like I said, selfish because it makes me feel good, but at the same time, it's,
hey, that's why you do what you do. Yeah.
It is what it is.
It's not selfish at all. You should feel good about that. That's an awesome story. So
thank you.
Yeah, I know. I always make fun of myself whenever we get those stories too, but it's the reason that we do what we do also is because of those stories. So, you know.
Yeah. And if I'm giving a presentation at an office and even at the beginning of this, I'm saying, oh, we cover AC and we cover the furnace and water and all these items. And yeah, you know, it's all that, but it's the emotional aspect of how you're really truly helping somebody. At the end of the day, that's what it's about, is you're helping somebody. You're making a difference in their lives some way, somehow, possible, you know, and that's what I like about it, really.
Yeah, we have a client right now that bought a house and had a home warranty for the first year, and then, you know, they let that go. It wasn't something that they kept. And we're trying to do, or I'm trying to do a better job of letting them, making them understand how reasonable the cost is and that you can do it monthly.
Yeah,
I think it's like $55 a month.
Well, I think just starting at the basics of, hey, did you even know you could renew that? I don't think most people know when they get a home warranty through a real estate transaction, they can renew that. Like, and I'm sure Choice sends renewal letters and all that stuff, but it's, you know.
But if they didn't use it the first year,
they're not watching for it, right?
So
that's the
our
kicker.
Client,
that's the kicker.
A year after their warranty expired, had to replace the furnace and the AC, and now they're selling their house, and now that's on a credit card, and you know, you don't get that value, and so it really sucks now that, you know, that they didn't keep it, or they didn't understand that the value of keeping that because their unit was older.
Well, they say that when I say these are actual numbers from Choice that we produce. It's kind of interesting. If somebody uses their warranty their first year, it's like over 65% likelihood that person's going to renew because they see the value, they know the experience, and like, wow, I really need this. But if they don't use the warranty first year, it's like under 5%. Like, it's so minimal, it's not even worth talking about. I mean, it makes sense. There's no value. They don't know the value of it because they never used it, you know,
in their head. Right. Yeah. It's that, that is crazy. Like, to think about that. Cause it is, to your point, that furnace, I mean, 3 years in, sure, you'd have had to pay another $1,400, but I guarantee you, I mean, our furnace is like, I just did mine a few years ago. It was $14,000. So,
right. Yeah. All the costs went up. I mean, back in the day, I hate saying that, you know, I realize I'm getting older, so I can say that now, you know, but water heater all in, you know, you can replace it and haul away the old one, do everything. It was like $700-800 now.
My first house I own, I bought my first house in 2010. In 2011 or 12, the water heater went out, and I was poor. That's just all it was. And didn't have, so I bought the hot water heater from, I don't know why I always call it a hot water heater. Duh, it's a water heater. But anyways, neither here nor there. That was a total squirrel. I bought the water heater from Home Depot, and I paid $450 for my water heater, and I put it in myself because I didn't have any money to pay anybody to put it in. But yeah, it is insane that a water heater now costs like $2,000. That's crazy to me.
Yeah,
the average
like
water
12
heater
years ago. Oh my God, it was 15 years ago.
No, I mean, you're right. I mean, the average water heater I see is $1,500 to $2,000 from a plumber. Because here's the thing: it's not just the water heater you're buying; it's the labor involved. It's the expansion tank, which is code, so you kind of have to. It's the permit you got to pay for install.
Oh, for the love of God, those expansion tanks are going to be the death of me. Every inspection notice, every time for like 3 years now.
No, you know, you're talking about if they don't use it the first year, they don't see the value, is another aha for me in this podcast now. So now there's two there. But, you know, now that the market has changed and people aren't waiving inspections and we're actually getting things repaired, we've been negotiating the 2 and 3 year home warranty
you guys
for our clients.
Yeah.
And it does make sense to do that because the odds are they're going to use it and then they're going to reap that benefit down the road by continuing
100%.
their own coverage. So,
well, in that price point, you can add 1 year 660. You can add a second year literally for $350.
Yeah.
So why would you not add a second year for $350? That doesn't make. I mean, why would you want to pay?
I think one part that gets missed a lot too is that it's down that too. Why would you want to pay that whole $600 the next year? But then people don't realize either, just because a seller's not paying for it. I don't think that buyers realize they can extend that home warranty themselves. Like, so the seller's paying for $660 for a year. The buyer can pay the extra $300 out of their pocket and have it for 2 years.
it's because you need a real estate agent who's explaining it to you.
No.
Most homeowners don't even know a home warranty exists without a real estate agent. They just don't even know.
And I bet you most realtors don't explain it. You don't educate their client.
That's because they've never been educated like somebody from Choice Home Warranty named David Specter.
It's true. It's because you can educate us that we can educate them.
Well, I appreciate that. I do. And I think education is so important, just having the right expectations, knowing what it covers. I had an agent I've never worked with before. I'm not going to say what office, out of respect and name and all that stuff, right? But they're
We'll cut it out.
Promise.
We're gonna edit it out. No. But they sell a warranty, and they tell the homeowner, I'm not kidding, everything is covered, just file a claim. Everything is covered. And they file a claim, and it comes back that the previous AC guy, whoever worked on it last, wired it incorrectly, and that caused it to break. So it didn't naturally break. Somebody physically did something that caused it to break. But the agent told the homeowner, oh, everything's covered. So the homeowner in their head thought, okay, no matter what it is, it's covered. So it's like
the agent probably believed that though, because they weren't educated.
When they passed that info to the homeowner, and then I didn't look good. The agent didn't look good, and but it's like if there's three things that we don't cover that are animal damage, weather related, or self-inflicted, meaning somebody physically broke it or somebody caused it consciously to cause it to break. But if it
didn't have to be you,
right? It could be the previous
homeowner before you, right?
And so that was a hard one, because the expectations, when you say everything is covered no matter what, you're setting somebody up to fail. Warranty covers by over 90% of the claims, but it has to be normal wear and tear.
Why would you freaking say that to somebody? That's
because
dumb.
it's what you think.
Why do people talk in absolutes? Let's talk about that. Stop.
Oh no, I say to my clients all the time, how great the home warranty is, what my experience is. And then I also tell my story of when I couldn't get my you were not my home warranty at the time. Let the records show person. But my water heater went on Christmas Eve. Me one by like January 6th. I'm like, so you think I'm going to take cold showers
through Christmas?
Family in town, but so I always tell my clients everything's not covered. It may or may not be covered, but majority of the time it is. Or
over 90% of the claims are covered. Over 90%. But it's like if you break your AC, you physically damage it. Why would we cover
Choice Home Warranty too? No. Just for the record, 90% on Choice Home Warranty.
Correct. I can't speak for the warranty company. I'm speaking on Choice.
Tell you my first experience with a home warranty back to our 2010 original house. Literally, it was a $60,000 house. The payment was $900 a month, which was like all of our budget. We had $50 left to go to Aldi's and buy the groceries at the end of the week after the bills were paid. So we didn't have any money, and our real estate agent negotiated a home warranty into our contract when we purchased it. This was well before I started in the real estate industry. And so we had a home warranty, and we bought our house in March, so it was cold outside still. And June came along. It got hot. I said, time to turn the air conditioning on. Turn it on. It's blowing hot air. And I said, oh, no big deal. We'll call the home warranty. We got the home warranty because that was my expectation. Now, my real estate agent didn't give me that expectation. Right. It was just a void, right? There was no expectation set on it. So I got to make up my own expectation, which is where that came from. Like, no big deal. We'll call the home warranty. They come out, the Freon.
I remember the story.
I know you do, because it was a big freaking deal.
Oh dear Lord.
I do not like to be hot. I do not like to be hot. I do not like to be cold. My husband will be the first one to tell you the second the power goes out, he crawls inside of himself because he knows there's about 15 minutes until I start panicking that we have no air conditioning or heat or I can't do it. I just can't. So anyway, so the home warranty guy, it took him like 5 days to get the air conditioning guy out there. So I was already like, whoo, up here because it's hot. I have no air conditioning. I have no money to deal with the no air conditioning. So like going and buying a window unit was not an option. Didn't have the money to do it. And so he shows up and he's like, does this little diagnostic or whatever. And he tells me what's wrong with it. There's a leak in the Freon system. You know, we just replaced the Freon and, you know, fix this part or whatever. The total for the bid was like $675 or something like that. And so he calls into the home warranty to give the report and get the authorization to do the repairs. And I'm expecting a $60 claim fee because that was my claim fee 15 years ago. And so I'm like, no big deal. I'm going inside to get my checkbook because we still had checks, didn't have credit cards. We're going back to the covered wagons here. I'm getting old. But I come back outside and he's like, I said, well, so my $60 check, right? And he goes, no, your total is 287 or something like that. And I was like, well, no, I have the home warranty. And he's like, well, your home warranty doesn't cover the Freon at all. My home warranty did not cover Freon at all. So they would replace the part in there that was leaking, but then to fill it back up with Freon, I had to pay for that. And so the total was $227, which I'm sure people are like, now, I don't know how much it costs to fill an air conditioner with Freon, but I'm sure it's well over $227.
Correct. Yeah.
But I was freaking pissed. And
every
panicked.
warranty company is so different when it comes to Freon and expectations. So just to throw that out there, we cover Freon at 100%. So in that scenario, it would have been just the $75 service fee, but every warranty company is so different. But a lot of the warranty companies still nowadays do not cover Freon or cover $10 a pound. But if it's $10, if they're going to cover $10 a pound and it's $200 for a pound of R22 Freon, so what? Like they're going to cover $10.
Yeah, we do
190 per pound, and there's 5 to 8 pounds in a system. Like, come on. Just say it's not covered.
You did educate us on that the last time you did our office meeting too, which was huge because we didn't know that.
Yeah. It's important to talk about all these things, you know. It really is.
Final words of wisdom, David. What you got?
Words of wisdom. Honestly,
get a home warranty.
Get the warranty.
Get a realtor that knows about home warranties, one or the other.
Having an agent is so important with a warranty. On so many levels, the expectations, how you even order the warranty, how you get the warranty, connecting you guys to me, a local rep, because otherwise you wouldn't even know you have a local rep. You'd just be going online and buying a warranty, and you can Google it. And there's 47 warranty companies, I believe, in the state of Missouri. They're all so different. And you're going to call 1-800 number for service. And it's not going to even be a real estate policy. We have two distinct different real estate and direct to consumer. So we have two different types of products. Real estate's far, far superior over the direct to consumer. So having an agent is so important as far as warranty goes, but also just the whole network, knowing the title company, knowing the mortgage guy, it's like your network is invaluable. And I think that is so important to make people aware of. And I know I should stay in my lane as far as warranty goes. I should just talk warranty, but it's so important to have that network for all vendors, to know all the vendors. And so, no, I appreciate you guys having me. I really do. I have a warranty on my own home, of course, and it's been a lifesaver, but I really do appreciate you guys having me. And that's it. So thank you. We
appreciate you making time for us.
Yes, making time
and
for
all that
us
you do.
and keeping us abreast of all of the knowledge and being there when we do have clients with a claim, because I know that you can take to the bank. If you got a home warranty from us and it's Choice Home Warranty on it, David will be there to deal with. May not like the answer at the end, but he'll get you an answer one way or the other. So
and thanks for answering the phone when I call.
Yes,
always. Well, there was I know what this is over, but I have one more little tiny story to share.
Yeah, go.
There's an agent. This happened this morning. Another one from today. An agent I've never worked with. He says he sells 50 plus warranties a year. Has never used Choice. Sees them on the contract all the time, but has never actually used us. He called me and said, you know what, you guys deny, and he was very, very nice, very, very nice person and young. He calls me and says, David, you guys denied this claim. Can you look into it? Can you see what's going on? I look at it. He filed a claim 2 days after the close date. And I said, you know what? Send me your inspection report. And if your inspection report looks good, we'll cover this claim. We just want to make sure it's not broken or there wasn't something cited as a major issue, whatever the case may be. He sends it over. Within 1 hour, claim was approved. And I was able to text message him and say, hey, we're covering your claim. And now I'm going to meet with him for coffee, and I'm super excited. We got to see the value of having a local rep, you know, so it's kind of
huge value.
It's huge. So it wouldn't be the same without you. We wouldn't sell home warranties if not for you. So
100%.
And that was a free on, and that was a free on one, by the way. And similar, it was almost identical to your story. It was sold when it was too cold and it couldn't be tested. And it said, you know, recommend checking it out based on age, you know, budget for replacement based on age. But there was no malfunction, nothing really cited other than it was too cold, couldn't test. But we covered undetectable pre-existing. They did due diligence and did their best. It's not the buyer's fault that it was too cold. We give the buyer the benefit of the doubt, and we covered that claim.
Which is amazing because you could have went the other way. You could have easily said, well, you didn't test it, so there's no way for us to know. That I mean, that just shows the integrity of the company.
You're right. You're right. And I appreciate that. So sorry to rub it in your face there that you got. I don't want to say
no free on Chad.
No, you're not rubbing it in my face at all. It is that it goes back to that whole education is key, because for me, and until I met you and talked to you about the warranty, I didn't understand how they worked. And my only experience was it's a scam. They don't even pay for anything because they didn't pay for my Freon. And that is so not the case at all. That was just my one story with my one home warranty company that, you know, maybe they don't even operate that way anymore. Who knows? But, you know, but anyways, yeah. So they are valuable for sure. For sure valuable, especially for people who don't have a lot of, money, the means to make big costly repairs, like huge value there. And I'm not saying they're not valuable for people that do have the means to and just want the peace of mind. There's a value for that as well, but definitely for people that don't have the means to make costly repairs. So
thank you, David.
Thank you.
No interruption. None of my kids knocked on the door asking for goldfish.
Nobody
Today was a win. Today was a win. I really appreciate you guys. Thank you again.
Yeah, thank you, David. We'll see you next time on Real Chat. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. Thanks.
Bye.